Hey, what's up? This is Kevin from Kevin's Barbecue Joints, and this one is awesome. It's with Chase Colston from the Troubadour Festival in Celina, Texas. That's going to be on Saturday, November 6th. And Celina is north of the DFW area. It's actually close to McKinney and Frisco. And you might know Chase from the Red Dirt Festival. He put that on. That was his creation. And now this is his new festival. This is the inaugural event. It looks awesome. I'm not going to talk too much about it because he gives all the details in this. But let me just let you know that there are 42 barbecue joints at this. There are 5 bands, 8 hours of music. It is going to be an insane day. There are different levels of tickets. I wanted to get this out quickly because on Friday, 10 a.m. Texas time, Central Time, the tickets go on sale. If it's anything like the Red Dirt Festival, they'll sell out very, very quickly. They have different packages. They have a VIP package, which gets you in there an hour early to try all the barbecue places. You get barbecue and music for that and other stuff. Then there's also a barbecue and music package. And then you can also get just tickets for the concert. And that would get you entry at 4 o'clock. It's actually an in and out event too. So you can come early, come with your kids, eat barbecue, you get wristbands, you can leave, have the kids stay with a babysitter, come back for the music. And even some of the barbecue places will be serving barbecue after. They'll be selling barbecue after 4 o'clock when the music starts. And there'll be taco trucks from local taco place. It's gonna be just an amazing event. And I'm really happy for Chase and really excited for this. So I just wanted to get this out as soon as possible. We go over all the different barbecue joints, we go over all the music, what this is all about, what it means to him, and how he got to where he is today from the Red Dirt Festival. I can't thank Chase enough for doing everything he does for the barbecue world, for the music world, and for taking the time to talk all about this so quickly. So if you want to get the scoop, if you want to get tickets, go to troubadourfestival.com. I'll put links below to everything. I'll have a companion blog piece, and I'll keep on my blog, I'll keep things updated for the festival. You're not going to want to miss this. And the Kevin's Barbecue Joints podcast and YouTube show is brought to you by Flores Tortillas. They're at florestortillas.com. Pretty much every Monday at 10 a.m. Texas time, Michael Wyatt drops dozens and dozens online. You can order them, have them shipped anywhere in the United States, but they sell out quickly. And also too, when you get them, they are made with all natural ingredients. So make sure that when you do receive them, this is a good note, put them in the fridge. That way they keep long. They don't have like all these other ingredients that keep them on the shelf forever. But the main ingredient that these tortillas have, and which make them one of the best in the world, is smoked beef tallow. Again, that's florestortillas.com out of Whitney, Texas. Check them out. And I have a website at kevinsbbqjoints.com. If you're enjoying these, please subscribe. If you're just watching this on the YouTube side, there's a podcast version. Just search Kevin's BBQ Joints on any of the podcast networks. If you're listening on the podcast, check it out at youtube.com/Kevin's BBQ Joints if you want to see this. But in the end, stay safe and enjoy this with Chase Colston. Well, Chase, it's good to see you.
You too, man.
It's been a long, seems like 20 years, but it's been a few years, and things have changed a lot since then. How are you doing in general? How was, like, because we made a big announcement yesterday with the lineup, and we'll get into all that, but how does it feel today? Was it exciting yesterday and stressful? And
yeah, it was really exciting, real stressful, just phone ringing, emails going. And, my business partner he's not in the business, he does smart things like make money doing other smart stuff. So yeah, talking to him and kind of keeping him updated on what's going on, and really just the massive influx of response and social media posts and, whatever else, and getting press releases out and all that stuff. It's always stressful, but this is just like, this is Christmas for me, when you release the lineup, it always has. And then, Friday is just going to be, the next 2 days is really just going to be like just hitting refresh. I'm like, okay, how many are we seeing?
Your dog is super excited about this too.
Yeah, all 3 of them. So but then you're just refreshing and being like, seeing what the sales are like, and being able just to reopen a lot of these relationships and talk to people I hadn't talked to in a while, or, and book the bands that I've booked before and things like that. It's good to see it again, honestly, and because
it feels right for you. This is a big part of that. That was a big part of you.
Oh yeah, that's what I did every day. When you go more than a year of doing essentially nothing, just you're furloughed and you're living on unemployment, and a lot of the times you can't go anywhere. It takes a toll, and it's something not used to especially when you're the one thing that you love the most, outside of, my family or whatever is live music, and not able to go see live music. And when I go from seeing, 30 shows a year to one or two, I think I saw two in 2020. And I was at one, seeing Josh Weathers when the CDC came out about the public gatherings or whatever. And I was on the patio at this restaurant talking to Parker McCollum's agent about, trying to find a rescheduled date,
Oh my gosh.
So and then it was a little over a month later, it was furlough time. So
for people that might not know, because and I'll put a link to our previous interview, and there are some people maybe that are coming, are new to this. You worked with, what was the company that it wasn't the Red Dirt Festival was run by a company, right?
Yeah, it's owned by Town Square Media, which is one of the largest radio and media companies in America.
Yeah. And this is a festival that you started.
Yeah, there are 2 employees.
And so things, because of the pandemic and whatever, you got furloughed, and then it's that relationship is over. At what point did you think this would happen? And so you connected with your friend, and is that how it happened? Or?
Yeah, he said, show me what a budget would look like, and show me what a festival would look like, and the cost analysis and the expenses, and I went to him and kind of showed him, and he said, this is all right, let's do it. He's in the architecture business, landscape architect. And he's like, man, I just want to do something fun. He's like, I love what I do, but let's do something fun and make this an investment. And
how long did it take you to get these people on board? And I want to go over the list of people, and because there's people too, there's restaurants, that the barbecue joints that aren't usually at festivals, which is awesome. Like the list is massive and killer, and
yeah, and it could have been bigger is the crazy part. And a lot of the ones that would normally do a show with me, like a Stanley's and Tyler or some other ones, or Mickaway, like Tom Mickaway's getting married that day, and some just couldn't make it work, and some are still experiencing some of the issues that a lot of restaurants are. Yeah, we'll talk about it. That was kind of a fun day, because you had I would have like spurts of like things happening that would kind of get me excited again, and then weeks of not really anything happening where it's just like, okay, this is back to you're whatever. But now this shit is real. So
what are the dates, the date and the time? When does the festival start, and what's the date?
Yeah, so Saturday, November 6th, Celina, Texas. So, people who not real sure where that is, it's a little bit north of Frisco, McKinney area, north DFW, great town. Very excited for it. And the day of the festival, it's a long day. It's 12 to 12. Our VIPs come in at noon. They get an hour earlier, and they have the extra time with sampling the barbecue restaurants, and then they get some other cool stuff. And then our Troubadour barbecue and music ticket holders come in at 1:00, so they've got 3 hours of sampling all the restaurants. And then the show starts at 4:00, which is when our music ticket holders come in, and music is 8 hours on stage. It's 5 bands, and we'll be done at midnight. So it's a marathon. Yeah.
What a day.
It's a long day, but you have to consume slowly.
Yeah, it's called pacing yourself. Maybe we could do a video on how to pace yourself properly for the Troubadour Festival.
It's a marathon, not a sprint. Yeah,
exactly.
Absolutely.
That's exciting, and that's really crazy. So you announced it. You didn't announce it, but what, 3 weeks ago? Like, it was recently that you announced it, and then you just announced the lineup yesterday, and then tickets go on sale on Friday officially for the public, right?
Right. Public on sale is 10:00 Friday at troubadourfestival.com. Yeah, we basically went live with the brand and the event on August 10th. We put out a teaser video. We showcased our full logo and our branding and all of that. That I have to give a huge shout out to Brady Clark, Brisket Country down in Georgetown, for the amazing work he did on everything. And Jared Whitman, one of his partners who did our website and stuff like that, the videos. He's the absolute stellar guys, and just had a blast sharing this vision with them, and going back and forth on ideas. And like when Brady kind of sent me the first draft of the poster, like I just wanted to run through a wall, man.
That poster looks
I was,
gorgeous. It's
yeah,
gorgeous.
I was just absolutely blown away.
I'll put it right here. Everybody can see it.
Yeah, yeah. I sent it to a couple of people close to me, and just on a secretive basis. And I said, you've got to see this. You've got to see what this guy can do. And it was cool. It was so cool.
And his vision looks like it meshed exactly with what you guys were trying to present.
Oh yeah, I had known who Brady was, and we were social media friends or whatever. We never really met in person, really talked that much. And when we started having the conversation about it, it was like, stepbrothers. Did we just become best friends? And
such a nice guy, like a genuine. Yeah, I love Brady.
He saw exactly what we were trying to do, and what the vision was, what the direction of the event is, and he just absolutely crushed it. And then taking all that and going into the announcement yesterday, like I had sent the poster to all the restaurants on Monday, and told them just hold off till after we announced, and did all that, and same with the artists, and it just kind of, we had already built up a pretty good little following in those 2 weeks, on social media, things like that, and then when it hit our social media and then other places in Celina and the area, it kind of hit. It was balls to the wall. Phone was going off, every 4 seconds, and emails were coming in about this and that, and our full website was live. So, you got to see the full poster there, and the tickets and things like that. So it's the amount of buzz it's created already has been, it's just been crazy, just out of nowhere. I expected buzz and I expected some excitement, but what has been happening over the last 24 or 48 hours has just been crazy.
Well, there's also a pent up desire to go to, number one, an outdoor concert, go to concerts in general, and then to do a festival like this. The timing couldn't be better for what you're putting together and what you're putting. Because people want that so badly.
Yeah, absolutely. And people like me who love live music and haven't really been able to go that much over the past year and a half, and then you take the barbecue aspect of it, and they're just as ready and excited as we are, because they run the restaurants, but as just like live music, the past 18 months has just been absolute hell for these guys, and that was especially humbling, was reaching out to them and telling them what I was doing now, and then I was kind of back, and bringing Troubadour Festival to Celina, and completely understood, considering situations over the past year and a half that couldn't make it, and being able to turn those conversations and reconnecting with those people into 42 participating barbecue restaurants just absolutely blew me away. And we were shooting for 40. Like I wanted 40. I wanted to hit that solid number.
So that was your number. Okay.
Yeah. And got to 40. And then one who had actually said they weren't gonna be able to make it reached out and said, "Hey, by the way, we can make it." I said, "Okay, I'm not gonna tell you no." So at 41, and I was like, "I like even numbers, man. Like we gotta have one more." So I reached out to one more, and it sucks because there are still so many great ones out there, and that either have reached out or that I know and would absolutely want to put them on it, and if this goes well this year, it might be a thing. Okay, instead of 42, we have 50 next year. If space and all that allows, but that's how crazy Texas barbecue is right now. It's like, even when I first started doing this, yes, there were a lot of great ones, but with the rise of social media and all these new restaurants opening and the new takes on barbecue, it's turned into just an almost endless amount of just absolute rock stars in barbecue.
An abundance of just quality, like such high quality.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like anywhere you go in the state, it's just crazy.
Yeah, it's there's so many on this list and this lineup that I haven't even been able to try yet.
Yeah, that's
I'm going to be stoked to try. Yeah, to try them there, because I followed them and I've seen them and read and all that stuff. But especially the last year and a half, when you can't go anywhere, you're not able to really try them. So I'm excited, and all around it's just been just absolutely just giddy on every front.
For Red Dirt, do you remember how many you had?
Yeah, the most I ever had was I think 25 was there. So you've got 17 additional ones here. And when I did Red Dirt, those 6 years, it was kind of the same thing. I was trying for 30 the last year, and then the world came to an end. But when it comes down, when it was those 25, but I always just wanted to say, I just wish I had room for more, because there's still so many great ones, and they would reach out. And I'm not going to tell the ones who been there from the beginning. Started 14 in 2014. Had 15, one couldn't make it at the last minute, so we had 14, and then it went to like 16 or 18 or something, and then it got to be 20, and I was like, okay, we can do 25. Let's do 25, and being able to grow that and meet more people was awesome. And I was able to reconnect with so many of those, and
they've all become really good friends with you, and they want you to be successful, and they want you to do something that you love.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's been, an especially humbling part that's really come to light, this throughout this whole process, is these restaurants are experiencing some of the worst times in their business, which a lot of them still performed well when they were just to go or whatever. A lot of people they did great supporting local businesses. But when you don't have your dining rooms, or you're having staffing issues, or you're experiencing the huge rise in meat costs right now, and you mentioned traveling hours to an event, and we do what we can to help offset some of these costs and do some other things as to bring them in, but they're still out a lot of money just to participate in this vision. And I love the music, but I don't, those guys who are on stage, some of them I know personally and things like that, but they're not the people I talk to all the time or see in person and, shake hands and hug them and, go to weddings together or go to parties together. Like, these are actual people I would consider family. It's just, that's been the best part, is that they've still chosen to do this despite the circumstances that have been surrounding them for so long.
That makes me so happy. And it makes me number one, I'm just so happy for you, because it crushed me when I heard that things were changing for you in that respect. And I've been just hopeful that something like this would happen. And then for them, it has been so hard, and this will be kind of cathartic for them, and a way to get together and enjoy something that they all love to do, and especially based and with the music too. I think that kind of ties it all. It makes sense what it does. But it's an expense for them and time and everything but obviously it's special to them, and this is the inaugural one, so it's just even more exciting.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's and the first day I decided that we were just gonna send out, I was just gonna send out, reach out and invite these guys. Basically just kind of wrote a generic text message, a huge one actually, sorry people, and just copied and pasted it to my initial group. And I kid you not, we had 18 yeses in 10 minutes.
Really?
It was, yeah. And I'm just sitting there, my phone just like, where it's a, absolutely,
that makes my heart feel so good. Oh, that's so
or an expletive, or something like that. It was just completely awesome to experience that again. Yeah, it was just so cool. And then it really just didn't even take a whole lot of time to get to that number. It's been really surreal.
The best way, what I'll do is I'll put in a companion blog piece, and below I'll put all the barbecue joints, and then I'll we'll have links to everything that you're doing, so that way they can they can see it on your website as well. And it's if anybody sees the list, it's the craziest, most wonderful group of people you've ever seen. And a lot of people too that will be going to this festival in Celina will have never gone to a lot of these places. There's such a diverse, it's not like they're all concentrated in DFW, or they're all over the place. And it's
absolutely. And
it's exciting,
and that's always been a goal, is to showcase different parts of the state, and just having these relationships in different parts of the state, but also do showcase the DFW area some, because 15 of the 42 are from the greater DFW area. So that's great. We have Tender Smokehouse right in Celina, which does a great job. And, they're very excited to have this event in their own backyard.
I was wondering before I saw the list if they'd be on it, I guess.
Yeah. And just, being able to talk to local business owners, just the outpouring of support, and thank you for bringing us to Celina, and it's just us saying thank you, because this town, has a whole lot going for it, just in the sense of it's exploding in size.
What is Celina like?
Yeah, it's still a small country town, but it's a small country town that has a whole lot of people moving there. But they're, from the mayor down is full of people who are excited about the growth, who are doing great things technologically and just, marketing and all sorts of different areas to really showcase what Celina is currently, which is, a town of 30 something thousand people, but that's triple the size it was 10 years ago. And then,
like you said off camera, like it's even going to probably 10 times, right?
Yeah. And then, over the next, couple of decades where it's, 10 times the size it is now, and being able to bring this in to be a fixture in the community while
so
all of this is happening, is really cool. And every step of the way, it's, I just got the phone with the mayor earlier today and, got to talk to him for the first time. Yeah. And
you talked to me and the mayor on the same day. That's amazing.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And it's just been great. Just lots of support from every single facet of the city. And we're stoked,
And now, is there? I know that when we get into the different tickets, there's all the VIP levels and different things.
Mm-hmm.
You also mentioned parking. There's parking, but you also recommend people like Uber and Lyft. Are there hotels or motels in Celina, or is it more the other cities that you recommend outside of that area?
Yeah, that's what's crazy. It's growing so fast, but it's growing faster than a lot of the business aspect can keep up. So there are no hotels in Celina, and there are no hotels in Prosper, which is the town immediately south of it. Okay. But there are a lot of hotels in Frisco and McKinney, which are, 15, 20-minute drives away. Of course, if you're coming to do, something like this,
which you probably are.
We encourage Uber and Lyft. Yeah, and there's not a whole lot of parking on site at the park itself. There's some, but we're going to have like 2 shuttle locations where we'll be constantly shuttling people from the parking lot, those slots to, bring you right to the festival itself. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, because I noticed that on the website. So you'll update with specific locations that'll have shuttles.
Yeah.
So that's
perfect. Still being worked out right now.
Yeah,
for sure.
So that's okay. So the main goal is to follow you guys, like sign up for the email list, and then also to follow all the social media, and then there'll be updates along the way. And I'm going to try to. So if anybody's listening, I'm just trying to keep my website up to date, the same post, and keep adding stuff to it as you present more information. So there'll be a bunch of different ways for people to get the information in. So that makes sense. Yeah. So so the chances are, so if you are going to stay, you'll stay outside like in McKinney, Frisco, kind of like that would make sense.
Yeah. I can't tell you where all the barbecue joints are staying, but I've pretty much, all of them that are having to stay overnight, they're all in 2 hotels. I'll just say they're very, very close to each other. So, it's a lot of trouble hiding out in one place. And, but yeah, it's
if you're friends with somebody that's on the list, DM them and find out if they're staying, if they want to divulge that information, which
if you dig deep enough on the website, and it's really not, that in depth of a website, you can probably figure out which ones those are. But
all right, we won't say it. But so let's talk first off. Let's talk. Well, not first off. We've talked about a lot of stuff. What's the music lineup?
Yeah, so we have co-headliners this year. Pat Green and Josh Abbott are co-headlining. Pat will play last, but they're equal build. 2 Texas country superstars, each in their own right, have put out. They've each put out a huge catalog of music that will be fixtures in the Texas country scene for a long time. I've had the pleasure to book both of them in the past when I did Red Dirt and Tyler, and both are just absolute great to not only work with, but they both just put on a great show. They interact with the crowd very well. They both, Josh especially, loves barbecue. He loves the meat church, and repping Matt over here, and then the rest. Stoney LaRue is our third act, and Stoney is one of the fixtures in Red Dirt country, in Oklahoma, and he's played twice for me before, and just another. These are all the ones that people my age and older experienced when we were younger, and especially we get in your late 30s to mid 40s. These are all the guys that you went and saw at clubs or bars or venues in college, and this is going to be, there's so much of that age group living in this area that it's going to be kind of, nostalgic in a
Yeah,
way, but
so
they get to see
nostalgic.
the biggest names from theirs. And what's crazy is that the band playing second is Cody Canada and The Departed. And if you're talking about, you know, the Mount Rushmore of Texas red dirt music, he's on it. You know, he's, you know, as his career transitioned from cross Canadian ragweed to, you know, doing his own thing with The Departed, you know, he still puts out just incredible music. And, you know, he sings some of the ragweed songs that he wrote. And I just saw him in Hutto a few weeks ago at Coke Fest down there
Oh, really?
with Pat. Yeah, with Pat actually too, same night. And yeah, he's just he's such a happy, joyful person anyway, and he's just so positive all the time. Like his vibe is great, you know. And I've met him briefly years ago when he did Red Dirt, but like we don't know each other, but that's just the energy he gives off. And he takes that to his set, and it's just such
Oh, that's
a cool
great.
set, and everybody just continues to watch him with such, you know, admiration. And you know, they're still enamored by this titan in the music scene. And then you have to say, at least, you know, anybody can argue this for years, but you know, a lot of these guys can be argued to be on the Mount Rushmore, you know. And then opening is Kyle Nixon, 38s. Kyle was also the fiddle player for Turnpike Troubadours.
Oh,
And kind of in the midst of the pandemic, he put out his own record, and you know, they got a band together. So you know, his drummer Gabe Pearson was a drummer for Turnpike, and then his guitar player Ron Engelman was the guitar player for Turnpike.
okay.
And so you know, you got, you know, three parts of the Troubadours up there with his new band. His new album is just phenomenal. He's a great songwriter. And then his bass player is Bill Corbin, who used to be the bass player for American Aquarium, one of my favorite bands.
Yeah, I was gonna bring up American
Yeah.
Aquarium.
Yeah. I you know, I got to know Bill and BJ, and you know, when he was with American Aquarium, and Bill had actually come to Red Dirt even when he was with American Aquarium. They just weren't playing, and he made a point to come, you know, before we got them to play in 2019. And you know, and Bill and I are good friends, and we had been talking, you know, throughout the whole process. And I was telling him what I was doing, and I said, well, I said, I think I'm gonna, you know, get you guys to open. And you know, he said he texted Kyle real quick. Was like, hey, we open this date? And he said, we're open. Go do it. And so just they're super excited, and you know, top to bottom, it's
yeah, it sounds like there's not a bad show.
Yeah,
you get whoever you end up seeing, like if you're going to the bathroom or something, and
yeah,
that's stellar. It's stellar.
Yeah, and we, you know, and I kind of took it in the direction to where, like, okay, let's bring in the legends this first time out. You know, there's so many great names and so many favorites, and you know, and when you're booking shows like this, you know, Texas was really one of the first states to kind of reopen and have these and lift capacity restrictions for concerts and stuff. So that meant so many people were playing in Texas. You know, and you take Celina in a metropolitan area like that, you know, it's tough to find people who are just available that day.
Interesting.
And
yeah,
you know,
because
it's
so different than a lot of the United States.
Yeah, and this kind of got a later start than I normally would, just, you know, for how, you know, my job situation turned out and how much time that led into all of this starting. But you know, I've worked with a lot of great people and at agencies and stuff, and you know, we worked hard to really, you know, put something together that, you know, we could be proud of the first time out. And I think that, you know, when the poster came out on Tuesday, people just kind of had that initial reaction of, oh my God, these guys are coming to Celina.
Yeah.
You know,
even though you had told me some of it, I still looked at it going, holy heck, that's crazy.
Yeah. And it was kind of that same way in Tyler too, is that, you know, that first year was kind of the initial, oh my goodness, this is coming here, with Randy Rogers and Whiskey Myers and, you know, and the other bands that we had that year. And, you know, bringing this concept to Celina and just really seeing people be like, oh shit, this is coming here, but it's also still within, you know, a 30-45 minute drive of over 1 million people, you know, 2 million or whatever it is up there now.
That could be even
yeah. I mean, you take Frisco, McKinney, Celina, and Prosper together, you know, that's a lot of people in itself. And then you can still pull from Dallas and Fort Worth, and you know, and that's also, you know, taken even further by these barbecue restaurants who are coming from that greater area, but also from other parts of the state. So
Yeah, from Lockhart,
yeah,
from Beaumont.
yeah,
That's
yeah. We were tagged in Instagram stories or whatever from people yesterday saying flights are booked. Like they've already booked their flights to come down, and it's really cool to see that and
yeah,
experience it again.
and how excited people are, because that's, it's something that I don't think I think we might have taken it for granted prior to the pandemic. Like, I think that, like, there's a lot of terrible stuff with the pandemic, like awful things, like financially and humans, but it also, I think it makes you realize how important live music is, and doing festivals and being with people. It's just, that's what life's really about, and sharing those experiences. So
Yeah,
it's,
yeah, for sure. And I mean, I can tell you, I mean, as much as anyone, I took it for granted.
Mhm.
It was,
I did.
um, yeah, having that for, having Red Dirt for 6 years, and you come out, on January 25th or 20, whatever day it was in 2020 that we announced the lineup, and you go on sale a week later, and then you sell out of tickets in 3.5 hours or 3 hours or whatever it was that we did. And then 2 or 3 weeks later, I'm watching Josh Weathers at a place in Lindell, and realize then that this show already has to be postponed. And then a month later, myself, along with countless millions of people working in live entertainment, either lost their jobs or were furloughed, and I was furloughed, for almost a year. And in the midst of that year, we had postponed Red Dirt to October. And I was on the patio of that bar watching, Josh Weathers show outside, talking with agents and stuff, trying to figure out when we could rebook the show. We had, all we could do was, we found a Sunday. That's the best we could do to do it in Tyler. And then still had to, postpone that one, or push it, basically cancel 2020 and go to 2021. And I still remain furloughed, and then coming into the new year, I lost my job completely. And, I had to really look and be like, it wasn't easy by any means, but it became such a fixture in my life, and such a
It was like a year
routine
after year.
part.
It's like, it was like
Yeah,
routine, like, not yeah,
yeah,
just once you
yeah.
start
And I
like
still,
rolling.
yeah, and I still did other stuff with my job, but I mean, Red Dirt was it,
Yeah.
and having that just completely disappear from your life is, uh, I mean, it was a ton of bricks. I mean, it was a
Yeah.
ton of bricks just having to postpone it, and then to cancel again. And then, when you come home and you lost your job, which was anticipated to a certain extent, but then you see, like, okay, in 8 weeks, this event is coming to Tyler, and I'm not going to be there. And it was,
That was even hard for me, and I'm just this guy from
yeah,
California who I care about you, Chase. And when I saw that, it was like, it really, yeah, I felt for you that day. Like, it hurt me all day long, because I knew that there was something special for you, and that must have been not easy to see.
yeah. And it was, I've got the most amazing, way out of my league, beautiful woman going to marry me next summer, which
Congratulations. I was going to mention that.
is my biggest accomplishment in life. But professionally, that was it.
Yeah.
And it was, I mean, hard, and it was a transition I wasn't ever really expecting until toward the end, and then to live basically 4 miles from it and not be there is, was even worse. I went to I went, as they were setting up and stuff. I didn't go in, but I still went down to close to downtown to meet, some of the restaurants that came in, meet some new ones, and hang out with some of the ones I hadn't seen in forever. And that was, that was awesome
That's nice. I didn't know you had done that.
to reconnect with them, and things like that. And then, and then the next day, I didn't go. I couldn't even bear the thought of doing it. But, and after all that, all of these processes to Celina were taking place, throughout this. So, I knew, and I had come to this, realization that this will be better. This will be not, I say better, but this will be, or I say better for me. It's, this business is two people. It's myself. It's my best friend of 30 years. We've known each other since we were 5 years old.
Wow.
You know, we went to kindergarten through 12th grade together. We were in each other's, we were in each other's first weddings, and, we helped each other through divorces. And then now, we're, he's married with 2 kids, and I'm getting married next summer. And, we experience all these life changes with each other. And then suddenly it's, oh, now we're in business together. And, which I was honestly very, very hesitant to do it first.
I can see that.
Because, it's like the saying about, like, don't be roommates with your best friend, or, a lot of people say don't go into business with your best friend, or things like that. And, and initially, I'm usually the gas, and somebody else, and especially like my business partner, he's the brakes. But it was kind of the opposite at first. And I told him, I said, this is what we have to expect. And, we have to be good with these things. And, it can be risky, and, so on and so forth. But having both of us know each other for as long as we have, we know how each other operate, and we know who's good at what and who's not great at what. He's great at the financial side. I am not. Luckily, I'm marrying an accountant, so I can. I have that too. So, but
people say that, but it's also, there's a lot of relationships that are best friends that go into business that do work too. It's like people don't highlight those. It's just you have to be open about everything and come at it the right way, I think.
Absolutely. And with it being just 2 of us, there's not a lot of other things involved with it. He had been to Red Dirt before, and he had seen what we were able to do with that, and and being able to kind of translate that experience and those relationships in the barbecue music communities to do something together has been great. And there are always hiccups, that no blows have been thrown yet, or whatever, but it's a valuable relationship that is off to a great start, and we're looking forward to really taking this thing to as high as we can this year, and then really build upon this company and this brand in the future. So from March 2nd, the day I lost my job, to August 24th, the day that we announced our lineup for Troubadour, has been emotionally and physically just night and day. Things like that. It was talked about a lot during the pandemic, just about how not only just how people's lives changed, and unemployment, things like that. I've worked full time essentially since I was 15 years old. Taking a year and a half off of work was not something I've ever known, and so it was, it takes a toll on you. It takes a toll on your mental health and your relationships with people. And, but we, as we see ourselves hopefully coming out of this, during that time frame, seeing not only that my relationships with these people are still strong, and they love me, I love them, and we're able to do this together. Seeing that light come out of the darkness has been great, and has shown me that while I created Red Dirt, and it'll always be a part of me, and it was as hard as it was, and still is, frankly, it always will. But seeing this come to life is even more special than anything that I ever experienced with Red Dirt.
Yeah, and look what it will do for you as a person. Like, it's something to accomplish this, to do this twice. Like, a lot of people dream of having a festival or doing something, and so you'll have done. Now it's like that's the second chance, and you can really shape it the way you want. And it's also what you've gone through. It shapes you as a human. It shapes you as a person, and it makes you stronger. And this is. I'm happy. Like, it's interesting, because if I had talked to you 4 months ago, it's a different Chase than I
probably would have had a lot more of these during that conversation than I'm having now. But it's resiliency is a fascinating thing, and without my fiance, and without my family and my friends, no way, man, wouldn't have come out well. But having the support system, and then having this having the trust and the support from my best friend and this company, and has really, brought out let's just say I won't take it for granted as much as or take it for granted like I did before,
And I'll talk to you in 2 years, and we'll make sure that both of us don't take the shit.
I might be dead by then. Just let's see how much of a toll this takes.
But it's also it also is it shows how much people love you and people care about you, and they not only want to be together and do this thing, they want to do it with you because they care about you. So it's a whole big thing.
It would be so easy for these barbecue restaurants to tell me, no, man, we don't have the staffing, or meat costs are too high, or we just got to focus on our restaurant, or we just can't make it, And there were times where that did happen, and completely understandable. But to have them come and say, hell yeah, brother, let's do this, from the ones that I've known with or worked with, when I texted Eric Linderman at Black's Barbecue, or Chad Franks at Schmidt family, and the entire Schmidt family, with Kreuz and Lockhart, or some of these several other ones that had been there from the very first Red Dirt, that said yes the very first time I asked them in 2013 to now, is amazing. But then having the people, with other restaurants that I haven't worked with at a festival yet say, we always heard great things about what you did at Red Dirt, we would love to be a part of it. That's just, it's gratifying, humbling, and I'm not really sure what they see, but but we like to have a good time together, and we try to make it a point to really put a lot of focus on our barbecue restaurants. And that kind of takes me to a conversation I had with Brady about the poster. Was the initial Red Dirt posters we did, I kind of did myself. They weren't very good because I wasn't like the graphic designer or anything. But I would have, the bands, and then, the restaurants listed on the same poster. And as we added more and more, restaurants, I felt like there was less room. So we just kind of showcased the bands bigger and just put, however many restaurants were going to be there. And I was talking to Brady, he said, no way, man, you got 42 of these damn places coming. We're putting all 42 on this poster. And I said, I agree with you. I said, they have to be in the same place as these guys playing. And that poster doesn't have the effect, like it wouldn't have the effect that, if those barbecue names weren't on there, you didn't see 42 of those barbecue restaurants on there. When you see Louie Mueller next to Meat Church, or 2M Smokehouse next to,
I was thinking there's only 42, like not only, there's not, we have time. I think it would be important. I'm going to name them I'm on the website right now. Let's just name them. So first, if someone's listening, driving, and they don't know the list, it's a crazy list. I'll start like 1701 Barbecue, 2M Smokehouse, Barbecue on the Brazos, Black's Barbecue, Brett's Backyard Barbecue, Brett's Barbecue Shop and Katie, Brisket Love Ice House, Brotherson's Black Iron Barbecue, CM Smokehouse, Dayne's Craft Barbecue, Dozier's Barbecue, Evie May's Barbecue, Feges Barbecue, Goldee's Barbecue, Gas Family Barbecue. Like if it was just that would be amazing. Helberg Barbecue, Hill Barbecue, Hurtado Barbecue, Hutchins Barbecue, Kreuz Market, Lockhart Smokehouse, Louie Mueller Barbecue, Meat Church, Mimsy's Craft Barbecue, Opie's Barbecue, Panther City Barbecue, Pinkerton's Barbecue, Roegels Barbecue, Rollin Smoke Barbecue, Rossler's Blue Cord Barbecue, Schmidt Family Barbecue, Slaughter's Barbecue, Oasis, Smiley's Craft Barbecue, Smoke Session Barbecue, Sunbird Barbecue, Tejas Chocolate Barbecue, Tender Smokehouse, The Slow Bone, Truth Barbecue, Tyler's Barbecue, Vaqueros, Texas Barbecue, and Zavala's Barbecue. Insane. That is insane. I just wanted to say it out loud. And if anybody's listening, I think that would make people excited just to hear that. That's amazing.
And it's crazy, just even the names that, that some of them I originally reached out to that couldn't make it, but that led to, okay, well, that means I can ask this, this person who I've might have met or known through social media or whatever, just seen that they've really grown and, been popular in Texas barbecue. And then I could reach out, but I had a few reach out after and be like, man, we'd love to be a part of this. And I'm just, it's saying no in that situation is just absolutely brutal. Cause 40 was our plan.
Yeah.
And, it got to 42 and it was like, okay, we just have to stop. But I was telling, my business partner, my best friend, that I said, we could have had 50 easily, and I want to meet one person who tries all 42 places, because I don't think I'm going to find one.
That's
Like,
who's gonna have
there's no way.
who's gonna be the guy that has the 2 trays laid out with all the different samples from each. And so how does that work for people that haven't been to a Red Dirt Festival? How does that work to people? And I want to talk about the tickets next, but how does it, when they come in, do they all create one dish? Is that what it is? Or 1 or 2
Yeah,
things?
well, they kind of, I leave it up to the restaurants as far as what they want to create, especially in this environment where, like, brisket costs are just ridiculous,
Yeah.
and other meat costs are too. Leave them to be creative as far as like what they're comfortable with, what they want to make, and something they can serve to a lot of people. So, some might do one thing, some might do 2 things. If you're Matt Pittman at Beat Church, you do like 37 things. And,
of course. Yes.
We have some that will do one specific thing for VIPs. One year at Red Dirt, Russell Roegels at Roegels Barbecue, they did like, like the mini Rubens, with his absolutely kick-ass pastrami. They did that for VIPs, and then they did other stuff for, the barbecue music ticket holders. So that kind of folds into the ticket question. So like, we have a VIP ticket where they come in at noon. So that gets them an hour earlier entry into the festival. So they have an hour by themselves, and there are obviously way fewer of these tickets sold. They have an hour by themselves to sample as many of the 42 restaurants as they can. And then at 1 o'clock is when our Troubadour Barbecue music ticket holders come in, and they get samples from all 42 restaurants, things like that. And then that also allows them access to the show. So like, VIP, they get like a shirt, they'll get, the private VIP area, things like that, part in front of the stage, that kind of stuff.
Flushable toilets, didn't you say that too?
Yeah. Which
I've actually read this.
Yeah. Those things are very expensive, just so people know.
Okay. So don't mess them up.
Yeah, exactly. So the VIPs are 200, and then the barbecue music tickets are 100, and then we sell tickets for just the concert. So if if somebody's not necessarily interested in barbecue, but they want to go see Pat Green, Josh Abbott, Stoney, and all these other guys, they could just pay $50. They come in at 4 o'clock. That's when the barbecue sampling is over, and then they can just watch the show. We have food trucks, and then we actually even tell barbecue restaurants that they want to, they're allowed to sell food to festival goers starting at 4 o'clock. So that gives a few more food options there. And it gives the restaurants an opportunity to make a little bit of money to offset, a lot of their expense that happens when they participate in things like this. We'll probably have a few that'll opt to do that. I know a 2 or 3 that will for sure. So that will give people who come at 4 o'clock, be like, oh, I can still have the barbecue.
And that'll be in the barbecue area.
Yeah. It's all gonna be one venue. So we basically just divide it by 3 different gate times.
Okay.
So there's food available from 4 on, for that aspect. And if somehow the barbecue ticket holders get hungry again, I don't see how, but okay. There's food available. So I'm trying to shoot for like just like taco trucks, like having like some different kind of taco places out there.
Okay, cool. That's awesome.
Just kind of keep the Texas vibe going with it. Yeah. So that's how the tickets work. We will have like
how much is the VIP ticket?
VIPs are 200. The barbecue and music tickets are 100, and then our music ticket is 50. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. We will have a few platinum VIP packages available, which they'll probably sell out very quickly. It's basically a package that comes with 4 VIP tickets.
Okay.
And then we get a custom wrap guitar done by my good friend Scott Friedeck in Dripping Springs, Texas. Go see him or get some guitars from him.
Cool.
And
I'll put a link below.
we get one of those that they get there, and then COVID pending, whatever those protocols might be and what the bands choose to do, they get a meet and greet with an artist.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Will that be on the website for sale until they sell out?
Yeah, it'll be on Eventbrite. It's not on like the main homepage now because there's so few available, but you'll be able to see it on Eventbrite when it goes on sale on Friday.
It goes on sale at 10 a.m. I always say Texas time, but it's central time. So 10 a.m.
Texas is as big as a time zone.
Yeah, no, I always say like Texas time when I do a little thing.
Yeah. 10 a.m. Friday, August 27th, Central Time. Troubadourfestival.com. Tickets go on sale. And if until tomorrow morning, if people sign up for the emails, they'll get a pre-sale code at 10 o'clock tomorrow morning to have early access to buy tickets. So, it's hard to tell what we are anticipating because obviously it's a first year event, but it's, we anticipate VIP tickets going very quickly, very, very quickly. And then, then the barbecue music tickets will go next. And then the concert tickets, however, whatever that takes. And if we don't sell any of anything, don't sell all of anything, we'll sell at the gate. But, I anticipate that if you're wanting to experience the barbecue aspect of this event, that buying early is a very, very wise option. So
I'm going to try to get this out before. And so is it 10 a.m. tomorrow is the people that have
is the email pre-sale. Yeah.
Pre-sale. Okay. Yeah. So if I can try to get this out, if I can get this out tonight, then at least we could, if you're listening to this somehow in the morning or about, or you see the post that I'm putting, then you can at least see that you need, because it's a lot of it could sell out tomorrow potentially.
Potentially, I
never know.
I don't think so. No, I mean, we have had a significant amount of people sign up for emails to get the pre-sale. Way more than I anticipated. So, I've learned in this business to never say never, to never just depend on anything and always put on something going wrong. Yeah. Your number one job as an event planner, promoter, whatever you want to call us, is put out fires. And that's what our job is. So, but, we're excited to see what's happening. My business partner is playing golf on Friday, and I don't anticipate he'll be working on his golf swing much other than just texting me every 4 seconds.
Yeah, I think
how's it going? How's it going?
Or vice versa. You'll be texting him saying, this happened. I think.
Yeah, it's such a fun day. It's stressful, but it's an absolute fun day because it's I rank it. Day of show always is, it's your best day.
Yeah.
If everything goes correctly, it's there. Then, lineup release day is it. But then you got, when you're on sale, when you got that say okay, and then you get the validation of, okay, wow, this many people are putting their hard-earned money, putting their trust in this event to be successessul. So
into an idea that you conceive too, which is really cool feeling.
It's cool, but it's also scary as shit. But it's
there's that too, yes.
Yeah, and because and I've had these conversations with countless people, but especially ones in the city, and Celina. When they were learning about me and my past and what's changed in my life and what's new now, is I tell them, I said the most important people in all of this is not. These are all important people. The mayor's an important person, and all these other people who have been very helpful are very important people. And so the most important people in all of this are our customers, and that we will go out of our way to resolve anything or just, really ensure that they have a great time. That this is something that they say, okay, I'm glad I paid $200 of my hard-earned money on a VIP ticket to come to this, or I'm glad I paid $50 to come see Pat Green, Josh Abbott, and these guys. And buy beer or whatever else. It's that's the priority. I love the Southwest Airlines way of doing things where their CEO or their company, basically their mission statement is our employees come first. So those because if they're not happy, the customer that buys tickets or goes to the airplane, it's so if my customers aren't happy, they're not going to come back. So
and if you think about it too, I was just thinking about for $50, that's a great price for a show.
Yeah, it is. And because you go see Pat Green on a Friday night somewhere, you're gonna pay that, or maybe a little less, but you're gonna pay. Yeah, you're depending on where it is, you will pay it. Yeah. But putting these guys in a festival atmosphere and is really great, especially when it comes to all of these guys, having seeing them perform and in that kind of environment with that many people. I mentioned at Coke Fest in Hutto when Pat Green was there, same as Cody. When Pat went on stage right before the headliner, this place sold out. It was over 10,000 people, and Pat is such a dynamic performer and so crowd centered. He's just
icon.
he feeds off that energy. Yeah. And I was like, okay, this is what I want to see. I saw it when Pat played at Red Dirt in 2018. I was like, this is what I want to see in Troubadour. And that happens if the tickets sell. So you got to make the customers happy, have them stick around, keep them sober enough to stay up late and watch, but
and make it to the last. Yeah, but no, they will. It's people rally, especially too. Like the energy will be there, and that'll be. And
and the cool thing about what we do is that the festival is come and go. It is a long day, so we have a lot of people that like will bring their kids out early and they'll eat or whatever. They'll take them home, leave with a babysitter. Mom and dad will come back and
so you can do
and
that.
Go to the show. Yeah, you can come and go as long as you have a wristband on.
Okay.
So, that way if they want to eat and then they want to go into town, go to downtown Celina and have a beer at Roller Town, or if they want to go to
Roller Town is in Celina.
Yeah, Roller
okay.
Town's
I can see Celina now. Okay.
Oh yeah. Roller Town Brewery's in Celina. It's
hit them up.
I actually just got on the phone with one of the owners earlier. Ben and Skin is a very popular radio show in Dallas, and they own the brewery, and they've just been super stoked this week. I've been talking to Ben from Ben and Skin a lot this week about the festival and Roller Town and things like that, and they're just absolutely stoked that this is coming to where their business is. And so having all these people there, and whether it's the night before they come in or that morning or the early that day and they come later or they leave and come back, there's a lot of really, really cool local places in Celina, especially downtown, that are great. People want to go see it whenever they go.
I want to give them a chance to see Celina before. I mean, like if they've never, because a lot of people haven't been to Celina, so it opens their eyes. It gives them a chance to see what the city.
Is all about. A lot of people in Texas are familiar with Celina in a sports aspect because Celina for years, always still great, but for years they were just a powerhouse in high school football.
Okay.
I would have to double check, but they're either tied for the most or they have near the most state championships of any high school in Texas. So, been solid a smaller school, but as it continues to grow, obviously going to get bigger or whatever. But a town that's really proud of its high school football team, and Celina and high school football has been synonymous with each other for a long time. And I was a sports writer for many years, and I covered high school football in Texas, East Texas, and but all over Texas too. I had never been to Celina, but anybody in my business knew what Celina was, where it was, and just how good they were. And the first time I went to Celina was earlier this year, and drove by the football stadium and things like that. Was like my whole time of doing sports. I'd never been, but then got to see it now. I was like, yeah, this is a town that's very much in love with its football team.
Well, it's interesting because like there's Friday Night Lights, and I lived in Texas for a year, I was driving like somewhere. I was driving back towards Taylor at night, and I could see a light in the distance. And as I closer, and then I saw all these cars coming in, and it was just a football stadium, but it was obviously probably high school. But it was like, and then I'm like, okay, now it makes sense because it's in California. It's not the same. It's not, maybe in the outskirts of California, but definitely not in Los Angeles.
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned that because there was actually a writer with the sports writer of the LA Times that kind of got roasted on Twitter last week. He had kind of shown a video of a stadium in LA or in the LA area of a high school football team, and it was a nice stadium. I'm wrong, it was nice, but it just like Texas just got all over this guy at once, and was like, one was like, oh, that's a cute 3A football stadium when 6A is the highest here, and or that's like, or I've seen practice facilities bigger and nicer than that, or that's something hilarious. Like that. I mean, but it's Texas, everything's over the top, and when it comes to football and high school football, it's crazy. I mean, right down the road from Celina and McKinney, their new stadium in Allen, which is right over south of McKinney, their football stadiums cost $60 million. And they're massive.
Yeah, so that's something that's like a bucket list thing to go to a Texas high school football game, in a town that really cares. That would be
absolutely. Amazing. And what's cool is that November 6th, that weekend, I believe that's the first weekend the high school playoffs start. So you'll have a lot of people. Celina will be in the playoffs, I'm sure, where they'll probably play Friday night, and they get to go watch them, or they'll go to another playoff game somewhere in the Metroplex and then get to come to Celina after that. So a lot of visitors, especially
Oh,
if
that's
some
fun.
come from out of state, come to the DFW area, go find a high school playoff game to watch,
Yeah, if you're
and
flying in, because there'll be obviously there's people that are listening to this or
yeah,
that would be really cool. That would be such a great experience.
yeah. And for those who have never been to, especially a big school like playoff game or high school game, it's something else. My fiance moved here last year in the midst of the pandemic, and she's from New York, like a little north of the city. So, and I was told her, I said, I want to take you to a high school football game, playoff game this fall. And we weren't able to for obvious reasons, but this year I want to take her just so they can just see how ridiculous and awesome Texas is when it comes to something like high school football. And I spent so many years in it, and just and loved it. But it's like when you have somebody from who'd never been here or never experienced this even first time, it's great.
Yeah, well, I'll have to hit you up and we'll have to go sometime, because it might.
Absolutely.
I would hate to show you photos of what our team. It was El Camino Real High School. I don't think we won a game. I think we won one game in the 4 years that I was in high school. That's how our team was terrible. And the people came out, but kids didn't pay attention to the game. They just came out to hang out. And we played at a college, like a junior college, because we didn't even have a football stadium. We didn't, which is bizarre. But this is so. So is there anything that we missed? Because we're running on almost an hour. I want to make sure. Is there anything we missed? The TroubadourFestival.com, right?
Yep, TroubadourFestival.com. I don't think so.
I guess, and like you have FAQ, you have the whole all this stuff on the website. So if there's any questions, anything about lodging or the area around, like you talk about that, you're going to update the shuttle stuff. You Uber and Lyft is something you've recommended. Also, you've talked about like the different levels of tickets. I'm trying to think. I don't think there's anything else.
If people have something that's not on the website, they have questions about, info@troubadourfestival.com is email address.
Perfect.
And I'll try to email you back in a reasonable time, because it all just comes to me. So one man marketing crew over here. So
give Chase a little bit of time. Is there gonna be swag that's coming out, or is that gonna be available at the event?
Brady's gonna be designing some shirts, probably have one or two shirt options. Or we'll have like one we give to the VIPs and then one that we sell.
Okay.
We're gonna have hats. Oh, the patch is really cool. What we're gonna do for the hats, it's awesome. Like I need another hat with my 65 that I have, but
same with me.
It's but yeah, there'll be merch there. There'll be artist merch there. We're talking about some other different aspects that we can bring out there to really elevate the experience. The stage setup we're going to have is massive. We're really doing what we can, within a first year budget, of course, but really doing what we can to maximize the experience and really showcase this as being a premier event, barbecue wise and music wise, because, as we've married these two together, it's a theme that, we like to stick to and make sure that both sides are equally formative.
And as time goes by, it'll continue to grow and evolve, and if for people too, it'll give them a chance to rub shoulders, so to speak, with a lot of their barbecue heroes and people that restaurants that they've always wanted to visit. They can see the person, take photos. It's gonna be really cool.
Yeah, absolutely. And then that'll happen. It's whether it's I can't speak 100%, but I think I saw on Twitter, I think Roy Perez from Kreuz Market is coming up. And then you'll have, if you have if Wayne Mueller from Louie Mueller Barbecue is able to come, having Wayne there, very close to Wayne, very good friend. Yeah. And then, but all these other guys, they're all legends and superstars in their own right, doing all sorts of crazy stuff. And, having all them in one place is really cool. And I love seeing people stop and take pictures, and the amount of cameras that come out at these things is just nuts.
I know it still amazes me how much people take pictures and film people cutting meat and doing things like I do it, I do it the same thing, but it's just amazing how presentation oriented everything is, and how imagine doing your job every day and having people filming and taking pictures of you nonstop. It's something.
And the other cool thing about that is so much of the and so much of like the food options of these things is elevated so much that, I mean, yeah, having the brisket or ribs or sausage is awesome. You know, it's all great, you know, especially from these, you know, these tier level of barbecue joints. But, you know, over the years, is the more that they come to these festivals, whether it's been Texas Monthly or if it was Red Dirt with me, or if it's, you know, Troubadour this year, or anything else, you know, Smoked in Dallas, that was a great event that Del Brock put on, like what things they did there. But when you, over the years, they've kind of like, okay, well, let's start doing some crazy shit, you know, let's,
So
you
doing
know,
things
let's
you've
make
never.
mini, yeah, let's make some mini Reubens, or do whole hog, or let's, you know, do like chicken fried burn ends, or, you know, so many different things that people may not necessarily get to experience on a daily basis or ever in a restaurant. Something like this gives these restaurants a chance
Yeah,
to
it gives it
really,
creative. Yeah.
yeah, spread their wings a little bit and be like, hey, let's, you know, if we want to do brisket or ribs or whatever, that's fine. But, you know, if we want to throw in something funky in here, let's do it.
Yeah, it's a unique experience, and then people are going to take thousands of pictures of that. Like it's going to be, it's
Yeah,
funny. Like it'll be interesting to see like when like people are taking photos of like just dots on like on a map of like how often things are, because it's like at that moment there's going to be, if, which I hope I can make it, but if I can't make it, then it's definitely going to be like my social media feed. It's going to be like just
oh yeah, constantly. Like yesterday,
constantly.
it was just like every scroll was the poster,
Yeah,
you
I know. I
know. And
saw that. I love
I was
that.
like, it's very, it was awesome to see. Yeah, it's like, but yeah, we're seeing all those food pictures come out,
Yeah.
you know, that day, and then, you know, on social media now, especially from like the, you know, from my account, the festival accounts, you know, following all these barbecue restaurants, they're like every single one. I'm just like, that looks amazing. That looks amazing. That looks amazing. You know,
Yeah,
it's just,
it's fun.
these guys are crushing it.
Yeah, so Chase, I'm super excited about this. I can't wait to see how this goes, and hopefully I'll get a chance to actually go there. But I'm really happy for you. I'm excited that this is working
No,
out the way
thanks,
it
Kevin.
is.
Yeah, man, I appreciate it. Appreciate you and all you do for barbecue and stuff. It's awesome. We're excited, and you know, here's the Troubadour.
Definitely. Here's the Troubadour.